Now, welcome to Let's Talk Some Ahsoka, where we're going to be talking about the trailer this time. We're going to take some of the comments that were left on my video on the other channel and reading and responding to some of them.
Mm-hmm.
We will, of course, be doing that with each episode as they come out eventually as well. But for now, let's kick it off with the top-rated comment left on that video.
Darth Malik. I kind of hope Sabine is just being trained in lightsaber combat. I really like Sabine, but it feels weird for her to become a Jedi, since I can't recall any times it was hinted at her being Force sensitive.
Yeah, it isn't really
It isn't hinted at.
She trains literally with Kanan and Ezra, and they don't sense anything from her in terms of the Force.
For years, she was watching Kanan and Ezra train.
Well, yeah, she also lived with them on the same ship.
Well, she lived with Kanan even longer than he knew Ezra, and he never picked it up that she was Force sensitive. It never came up at all. I mean, the lightsaber training, she kind of already knows how to do that, so I'm curious what this whole master relationship even is. Is it just a
refinement of... I mean, she does have Ezra's lightsaber. She may want to use it in honor of him, I guess, or because she finds it a pretty handy weapon.
Right. I mean, she trained with the darksaber, but she didn't even hold on to it, I guess you could say.
Well, she was trying to pass it on to help her people out, so it's not like...
So more training with a lightsaber could definitely be beneficial.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean... I can't imagine they would kind of retroactively make her Force sensitive.
That would be messy. And I don't think Filoni would mess up his characters that much. I don't know why they designed this trailer to make you ask this question.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer is obviously intended for you to go, huh? Like, are they implying? And look, Sabine was being kind of sarcastic when she calls her master. But I do think there's a basis for it, right? Mm-hmm. Which is probably the training with the lightsaber. She probably tried to help her learn more with the lightsaber and all that. Plus, you got to keep in mind, Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, when she encounters Grogu, and Mando is trying to find a Jedi, and she basically says, "Yeah, I don't train. I'm not going to train him. He's got too much attachment." So even if Sabine is Force sensitive and Jedi worthy Force sensitive, let's say, why would she train someone who has that much attachment, who's clearly obsessed with finding Ezra? It doesn't add up.
No, but let's not forget there was a fun moment in the trailer where she shot out her tether rope. And that made me smile because that took me back to when Fen Rao taught her Mandalorian tricks on how Mandalorian weapons were designed to fight Jedi. Even though Kanan reminds them that the Jedi actually won that war. But at the same time, they did develop tricks in their own technology to be used against the Jedi. And it made me happy to see kind of that little callback. Be like, oh, look, she remembers. She remembers there are other ways to fight a Jedi who's wielding a lightsaber, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could be something, too. It could be that wherever they were hoping to go originally, they thought there might be Force sensitives, there might be people with lightsabers, so she was trying to teach her how to fight against Jedi.
To protect herself, yeah.
Yeah, or Sith, or whatever it might, Force sensitive, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really think this is just kind of a misdirect, and I don't know why they're doing it, because it's kind of
Because people will be disappointed now if they think that she's not.
Well, some of us won't be, yeah.
People who aren't familiar with Rebels.
Yeah, people who are maybe vaguely familiar or not familiar, they're probably going to watch this and go, wasn't it hinted that she was going to be like a Jedi or something and be trained by Ahsoka? I don't get it. So
they're just going to confuse people.
Yeah, it was a very strange choice. And I don't think there's any merit to it. I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's this misdirect for reasons.
Next comment. I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I'll just get it wrong.
I think it's Katamaranovich.
Okay. I remember someone saying, Sabine is already everything except for a Jedi. It would be hilarious if they made her a Jedi later.
She's been a bounty hunter. She was at the Imperial Academy and designed the weapon. So
she's an inventor, designer.
Yeah, she's done a lot in a short amount of time.
She's an artist. Don't forget that.
Yeah, she's a very, very talented artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I mean, not to go into this topic even more, but 90% of the comments left on the video were kind of about Sabine in this. So
they did make her a fun. It was kind of weird that they made her a big focus in the trailer.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Well,
but I actually want to focus on what the dark side, I'm going to call them, the evil characters here are doing.
Well, I think the idea here is to showcase that Sabine is going to be pretty much the main character alongside Ahsoka.
I think it would be a poor choice to, again, why has everyone got to be a Jedi?
Yeah, when everybody's...
There's so many Order 66 survivors. There's so many, Force sensitives everywhere.
When everybody's special, nobody is.
You've never even seen that movie.
I know, but I know the quote. But no, I think it's a disservice to the character to just keep...
Piling
more and more stuff onto her that she's just capable of, that she's, the best at everything kind of thing.
I like expanding a story, but you don't have to expand a story in a way that just makes the character everything.
Yeah, I like Sabine as is. We don't need Jedi added on.
No. She's a capable fighter.
Very capable,
She's smart. She can design things. She's an artist. She doesn't need to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
She's also not really a tactician, so they shouldn't pile that on her either. Next from Kennel. After the latest trailer, I'm really excited for Ahsoka. However, I'm worried that my excitement is because of having read the Thrawn books, seen Clone Wars, and seen Rebels. I hope they do a good job of explaining the Rebels tie-in. If not, many are going to be lost.
Yeah, just watching that trailer, put me back into that Rebels kind of Clone Wars mindset, which was really awesome for somebody who enjoys both shows. But I could imagine that if you haven't seen any of that and don't know any of that, you might be... I mean, you could certainly watch that and go, that looked awesome and I want to see it, but you're not going to get the same things out of it already.
I agree. I think that they need to make sure that they incorporate the entirety of the audience, because not everyone's going to... I know Filoni and Favreau, one of them, both of them have been like, well, that's what YouTube is for. You can just watch a video. Not everyone's going to do that.
Most people aren't going to do that, let's be honest.
They're just going to, they're going to watch some episodes, and if they want to do additional follow-up, they will. But you shouldn't be expected to.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. There's kind of this fine line between honoring those fans who have kept up with everything. They've watched Clone Wars, they've watched Rebels, they know about Thrawn. You want to make those fans happy. You want to give them something to say, hey, we recognize your loyalty. Here's this show that's going to give you what you want. But at the same time, you also have that person who's maybe never even seen anything Star Wars. They're going to turn it on and they have to understand what's going on and be able to follow it and get enjoyment out of it as well.
Right. You don't want to alienate people.
No, absolutely not. But you don't want to do that either way, too, because it's not like I don't really want to watch a show where everything kind of gets reiterated that I already know, too, right? That's kind of, you understand it, yet at the same time, I don't need a constant recap of everything that's happened before, too.
It's a very hard thing. It's a fine line.
It is a very fine line.
Because then you're going to get to that's the Mandoverse movie, and people are going to go to that who haven't seen any of the Disney Plus shows. Because they're going to be like, look, a Star Wars movie. I'm going to go see a Star Wars movie. And now you're going to run this even more traumatic thing where people are like, wait, I don't know anything that's going on because I didn't watch 3 seasons of an animated show and 5 Disney Plus series.
Yeah, exactly.
Next comment from Solo. The Inquisitor is the real wild card here. Every other character we have some hint as to what their motivations are, but with him we have no clue. It's also worth noting we see different shots of him. Ahsoka, Sabine, Balon, and Shin all on the same forest planet, so it seems that all converge there for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know where he fits into the picture.
Yes, there's rumors now about what the name is, and that's a name we've never heard before, Morok, which is also the name of Embo's dog, but...
So we have heard it before.
We have. It's another wolf name. This one's from an Arthurian legend.
Yeah, a lot of wolf names.
Gee, Filoni and wolf. We've already got Shin and Balon in this, and he's like, another wolf, do it.
Yeah, but it's so strange because it just feels like...
The Inquisitor feels very out of place in New Republic era because where the heck has an Inquisitor been hiding?
Yeah.
You don't see Inquisitors because they should be extinct.
Should be, and yet...
Not to mention, I think Vader would have killed them all off after they thought the Jedi were gone.
We are also assuming they are an Inquisitor. They could just have a look and a lightsaber of
You're
one.
right. Until we see them saber-copter, it's not a real Inquisitor.
Yeah, until you can saber-copter, you're not a real Inquisitor. No, I've seen people theorize it could be Ezra. I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to show that in the trailer. Even though they're not actually showing Ezra. I've put the idea out there that it could be Barriss Offee, but that feels like a lot to throw in there. There's a lot of history there that I'm not sure you want to delve into. Then there's a wild card possibility like a Mara Jade.
Well, for one, I think the one that we see is a male.
Yeah, it's played by a male actor, as far as we've been able to discern.
Also, they're not in the New Beyond. It looks like they're working on traveling to the New Beyond.
Yeah.
Which is meaning that it shouldn't be Ezra, because Ezra should be just as trapped as Thrawn.
Exactly. Who knows? Again, we don't know where they fit into the picture.
And I still don't know.
Balon and Shin, or are they...
They shouldn't be. We got full red sabers versus orange.
Are they like an agent of Thrawn? Did Thrawn maybe have kind of a personal Inquisitor somehow, some way?
He could have maybe had one on the ship when he disappeared, or... I don't know. There's a lot of questions about where in the world does this Inquisitor come from. I understand Inquisitors they're cool. They usually have really cool costumes.
Sure.
They're kind of badass. I think they're cool. I just don't know how this one fits in the New Republic era, because my biggest theory is that after most of the Jedi have been killed by them after Order 66 and the subsequent years that followed, I would imagine either A, they're dying off, they're getting killed by the Jedi that are surviving, or Vader will eventually just get rid of them because he doesn't want competition to take his place at the Emperor's side.
Yeah, not that any of them are competing with Vader, but I still
get
your
I would
point.
see by the time we're deep into the Civil War, by the time Luke is involved, I feel like the Inquisitors are all dead.
That's what it's heavily implied, because otherwise why wouldn't the Inquisitors be after Luke? Even in anything in the new canon,
you don't see
in the comics, which deal heavily with the time period of the original trilogy.
If there were still Inquisitors, they would have been sent out.
They would be after Luke, yeah.
No, I think that they were all gotten rid of. Either they betrayed and were killing each other, Vader killed them, Palpatine killed them. They're not around.
Killed them.
Yeah, or they got killed by the Jedi they were sent to hunt, and then Vader got to go and finish the jobs.
Some. So yeah, we've seen several of them get taken care of. So,
but I believe by the time Luke is really involved, most of the Inquisitors are gone.
No, I agree with that.
Next comment from Jay Hollum. I'm looking forward to it very much. The flashbacks will have to explain the show in context.
They're going to have to do something.
Flashbacks, flash forwards, I'm not even sure how the time is going to be working in this show. It looks very disjointed from the trailers.
Well, we've had a lot of Anakin talk.
Yeah.
And there's, of course, the rumor that Hayden Christensen is in this. What if it's Balon talking to Hayden/Anakin, I should say, back in the past? And that kind of explains where that character is coming from. What if we're dead wrong that it's going to be an interaction between Ahsoka and him? Which I think will still happen if they have Hayden, but what if we get that instead?
It's interesting. I'm not really sure where they're going to go. I feel like they've shown us stuff, but they haven't shown us enough to actually glean any sort of a story.
Well, I'm getting the sense, I brought this up in my review video of the trailer, that I think Balon and Shin are kind of they're Thanos-ish type characters. They have some kind of agenda that they feel is good and noble, but they're willing to do whatever they have to do. That kind of is shown through the orange lightsaber. It's not red, it's not yellow, it's kind of, they're somewhere in between. So they have a good intent, but they're going about it in the wrong way.
That makes a lot of sense. I think it's something we've talked about as well.
Yeah, we have talked about that too. That doesn't mean I know exactly what that intent is. I mean, we talked about perhaps something to do with the Jedi Order, stopping Order 66. They want to use the world between worlds to go back in time. I don't know, a lot of crazy possibilities when you bring in time travel and dimensional stuff.
That's why you don't.
That's why you don't.
Tell a nice linear story so that people aren't debating till the end of time how time works.
Yeah. But no, I think flashbacks are certainly on the table because there's just a lot to try to cover, especially for newer people. And I think if you want to, I was kind of talking before about, I don't really want everything reiterated, but getting to see it reiterated through flashback is much cooler, I think.
I can agree with that.
All right, well, I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. So now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you thought of this new trailer and tell us how excited you are or maybe are not for the Ahsoka series. Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.